All right. The first thing I would do is, if I was answering this, I would draw the monopsony graph. Okay. And so here's the monopsony graph, and it's marked. Yes, don't make ridiculous puns. I didn't have MRP here. Now, where's the profit maximizer here, Baraka? Okay, so this is right. So they're going to equal, correct? So if I know that, I could cross out D and E because they have to equal. Now, sorry, I went the wrong way. Oh, geez. What the heck am I doing? All right. Yeah, I'll take a play.
Two.
A little while.
What do the blunders do in the second semester?
Pizza and soda. Pizza and soda. All right, now, if we look at this, Gavin, do you remember what in the market, what perfect competition the labor graph looks like in the market?
Market. What's the other one? Is the market the one?
Perfect.
Like this in the industry.
What?
The industry?
Yeah, the industry.
In labor?
Yeah.
Not like that.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you what did it look like. You're right. It doesn't look like that. Do you remember what it looks like in the product market?
I think so.
Got it. What does it look like?
You have this thing.
Supply and demand.
Oh no, yeah, but I'm talking about.
But the industry, just supply and demand, right?
Yep.
Okay, same thing in the labor, the industry. So if I look at supply and demand here, is the wages higher or lower in perfect competition? Higher. Are we hiring more or less workers in perfect competition? All right. So now let's go back. So people had C equals marginal factor cost resulting in fewer workers being hired. Does a monopsony pay higher wages? No, so C is wrong. B equals marginal factor cost resulting in fewer workers being hired at a lower wage. Do they pay lower wage? So B is correct. Okay. Any question? Charlie Smith, do you remember how to calculate MRP?
Is it price times marginal product?
Yes, MP times P. That comes up a lot. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. In a competitive market in which the production of a good Sisto, if I'm getting pollution, is that going to be a negative or a positive externality?
Negative.
Negative. All right. So I'm going to draw my negative externality graph. It goes from private to social. There's my marginal social benefit. Now, just to do a quick review, if I take my market straight up, that's the base. This line is the external cost. Okay. Private and external equals social. So marginal private cost plus, okay. Now, yes, sir.
Would pollution always be on the supply rail?
Typically, unless like we're like just throwing trash as individuals. But yeah. Okay. So now, Ben, what do you have for this? D? Okay, let's look. Is marginal social benefit lower than marginal private cost? Well, no, they're equal, right? So C is not the answer. Jackson, what do you have?
D.
D. Marginal social benefit is higher. Well, the truth is marginal social benefit and marginal private benefit are the same because there is no external benefit. So they're equal to each other. So D is wrong. Nick, what do you have? Sorry to wake you, Nick. See, this is the back row. What? C. Marginal social cost is higher than marginal private cost. Is that true? Is marginal social cost higher than marginal private cost? Yeah. Okay. C it is. Okay. So I think there's on both of these a way to use your graphs to help you get to the right answer. Any questions on either one of them? Charlie?
The Holy Presence, God, and the fire, and the Holy Spirit, amen. As we enter another full week, the first time in a while, we thank you for the blessing of waking up this morning and the ability to go do whatever we want to do or striving to do today. St. John Baptiste, hail us out. Pray for us, who is forever.
Okay. If you take out your homework, all right. Is there anything on your homework you didn't feel comfortable with? Which one? Could you just ask me the question? I don't know the question.
I don't have a really knowledge.
Who has question number 3?
What is meant by internalizing the externality?
Okay.
And then what does government do?
All right. Internalizing the externality system is either taking the tax that government does or the subsidy. So the tax for a negative externality, the subsidy for the positive. And when a tax or a subsidy is produced, it's called internalizing externality. Did I talk too fast or are you okay?
No, that's good.
Felix?
9.
Is that the perfect competition?
Yeah.
Felix, drawing the side-by-side perfect competition in the long run was not a problem, was it?
No.
So this is the industry. All right, so that, I'm assuming most of us were pretty good there, right? Yeah, what's the next, is this what you were asking too? What's the next step? What did they say?
Rent is lower than.
Okay. If rent is lower, is rent a fixed or variable cost? Fixed. All right, so what would shift if the fixed cost is low? ATC. Good job. ATC is going to go down. Okay. All right.
MC would have moved it. It's just,
And MC would not move. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
MC does not move because it's not a variable cost. You are correct. Now, is the next thing what happens to price and quantity?
Yeah.
Connor, what does happen now to price and quantity in the short run?
They're going to shift down.
Why?
The supply. Actually, no, it would go up the supply chain, right?
Why is anything shifting in the short run? Let's ask Scott for some help. Scott, what's going to happen to price and quantity in the short run?
They're just stay constant, so like profits will increase, but the price and quantity themselves aren't that.
Yeah. Connor, I think you were thinking about going to the long run, but in the short run, all that's going to happen is we're more profitable. MC or MR doesn't change. So where X equals MR, it gives you the same price and quantity. So they stay the same. Okay. Now, in the long run, are we making money? No, but I mean, now we'll be making money.
Yeah.
So a firm's going to enter or exit. Enter. So in the long run, that's when you would get, I think, the supply shift. Okay, but I think they only asked you about the short run, right? Okay. Anything else?
So you don't have to do anything to the industry?
No. Because the fixed cost just hits ATC.
So in the short run, pricing quantity in the firm just
Solid.
stays.
Yeah. And if they ask you to explain gap, it's because there's no change in marginal cost.
Can you explain like the idea of tradable pollution permits?
I'm going to do that in my 2 minutes as part of lecture. Okay.
Could you explain what the loss is?
Yeah. Because, and I'll do that too, but here, and I don't know how to pronounce it either, so boss here. It's kind of me and you negotiating. So you have a dog, right? And you like the dog and it gives you $100 worth of pleasure. I hate your dog. And it gives me $50 worth of irritation. You might say, Mr. Russell, I'll give you $55. That takes my irritation away and still gives you 45 extra pleasure. That's all it is. Now, why does it sometimes not work? It sometimes doesn't work because sometimes we need lawyers and that jacks up the fee and we can't get there. Also, sometimes in just negotiation, me and you, we like break down and, you know, and we get kind of pissy with each other and it doesn't work. Okay. And we'll do that in lecture 2. All right, now, last period said they wanted to hold on to their notes. Some of them want to use them to study, so I'll actually collect them tomorrow. All right, we prayed. Next week, which is this week. All right. So, I guess the notes will change to be due tomorrow. I'll do a review tonight at 7:45 and a review tomorrow at 7:45 before school. Quiz is only on chapter 10. There's 1 or 2 questions there with these charts that are really hard to get if you haven't done them before. So I really look at the practice quiz. If you plan on coming on tonight, try to do the practice quiz before, so you can ask me about those. And if you're coming tomorrow, try to do the practice quiz before then. I'm pretty sure I did a breakdown video that's posted, breaking down and trying to tell you what you could anticipate, you know, with the same graphs and the same charts. We'll start tomorrow night reading for chapter 11. We're going to have the notes due on chapter 11 and a graphing quiz. I posted on, I never know what's called the Tower Wall web page, but I posted the graphs we need to do. Okay, and I'll put them up tomorrow on one of these things. So you'll have a chance at 7 things, that's 14 points, plus you'll have these 2 things. You know, there's a chance of going like 24 and the quiz 18. Wow, you could go like 42 out of 42 if you're trying to raise your grade.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say this is for the first semester.
Yeah. I'll probably ask you what you want to do with the graphic quiz on Friday. So like if you're like saying my grade is where it is and you want to put it in the second quarter, I'll probably let you do that. I'm a freaking nice guy to this stuff. Not really. All right. Is there ever dead weight loss at the optimal? He's shaking his head violently. No. Why not? Yeah, because you're at the optimal, right? You've had the subsidy of the town. Can we turn in missing assignments? Gavin, can we? Okay. I was going with whatever you said. Okay, you can. How can I locate the deadweight loss? I don't know. It's always, if you take the market line, the market line is always the base of the deadweight loss. Another way to check it, God bless you, is the point of the triangle is always on the line. Is there ever, no, neutrality, externalities are not neutral, just by definition, they're a third party effect on either the cost or the benefit. Negative externality, the cost, positive externality, the benefit. Okay? All right. Any other questions before we move forward? All right. A couple of people we'll do. In 1970, government tried to protect endangered woodpeckers by requiring land developers to report their nests on their land to the Environmental Protection Association. Now, Baraka, this might shock you. Government did something and it didn't work. Why do you think it didn't work? Yeah.
And they kill the birds, so they wouldn't have to like report them.
Yeah, they killed the birds because if they reported them, it would slow down the building process. So landowners would kill the birds or else risk lengthy production, known as shoot, shovel, and shut up. So one of these things government tried. Two, assume the government wanted to eliminate a firm from polluting. They tell them they'll inspect them twice and they must reduce pollution by 5%. Now, have any of you ever been in a class where an administrator is observing the teacher? Does that class change that day? It gets worse, Gav. The teacher like sits down. The teacher puts on a little show.
I mean, yeah, the class doesn't.
And the class is more serious because generally the class is choosing who would I rather be, friends with the teacher or the administrator or anything. Right. That's what happens here. When you come for an inspection, yeah, you reduce pollution, but before or after, you go crazy. Okay. By the way, when administrators come in, I try to teach worse, just to like piss them off, you know, give them something to do. What are they doing all day in the system? I don't know. Buying new cars with magazine drive money. All right. So now government finally, Stephen, finally, they come up with something that works. Yes, government. All right. So now, can you have zero pollution?
Not if you want to have things.
Right. Every time Thomas talks today, I'm getting to the end of it, to yank me by the pod and pull me up. I wouldn't even refer you to Mr. Mitchell if we did that, Tom. I'm a nice guy. All right. Anyhow, but Thomas is right. If you want to have things, and the price would be insane. So government assumes, like in this lake here, that it could absorb 500 gallons of pollutants. And based on the sizes of these businesses, it gives them permits for how much they could pollute. All right. Now, Felix has developed a way where he doesn't have to pollute at all. But he has 100 gallon permit that says he could pollute 100 gallons. What is he going to do with that permit?
Get rid of it.
Yeah, but
Stop paying for it.
yeah, he's going to sell it because he doesn't need it. So now government's giving people an incentive not to pollute because they could sell their permit. So Felix might sell it to Jackson who says, screw pollution, I need to make money. And now he has $300, 300 gallons, and that's how it goes. All right. So here's the graph. It's an easy go. This isn't changing. This is the 500 gallons. And I gave you a spot in your notes if you want to jot this down. This is the demand. Now, when Felix has this 100 gallon permit and Jackson wants it, the demand for pollution rights are going to go up and the price is going to increase. because Jackson needs it. Charlie, was this your question?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought it was a great education. We should have you guys do the observations. But no one knows. So I say, Ben, you're observing Mr. Russell Einstein. Like I'm the administrator.
Yeah.
And you write up the report and I don't know.
I like a teacher comment.
What?
A teacher comment.
No, but
Yeah, the chat.
don't you think you know who the better teachers are better than we do? I mean, you sit here every day. Like, we don't know. All right. Is everyone good with this? All right. The Coates theorem. And this is what me and Logan, we were talking about before. So this is private parties can borrow. This is just like me and you trying to come together without like government. I also couldn't put a dollar amount on how much I hate my neighbor's dog. All right, so I own a dog. I get a $500 benefit from it. I do love my daughter's dog though. My neighbor is bothered by the barking, which is a $250 cost. I give her $275. Is she happy? Okay, she gets $275. It costs her $250, right? I give up $275. I'm still benefiting, right? So that's the Coase theorem, like winner, winner, chicken dinner. Both parties winning, negotiating. And like I said earlier, one of the problems is sometimes you need to get lawyers involved and they jack up the prices. And then there's also, I offer her $275 and now she says $350. And we start getting into that haggling where we can't find a mutually benefit price. If you look on the practice, because like I think I said before, Eddie and Ricky is an example of that. One of them's a writer who makes $500. Ricky's a drummer who drives Eddie crazy. You'll see it, but it's an example of the Coase theorem. Any questions on this? Christian, you okay?
Yeah.
Your new seat's okay?
Yes.
Okay. You can sit next to Sisto over here if you want to be up front. Okay. Sisto's not a bad guy. Or you're okay? Okay. All right. All right. This was the FRQ that was supposed to be on your test, but we hadn't covered externalities yet. So this is in your packet, right?
Yeah.
All right. I want to give you like 5 or 6 minutes to try to do this. Try to do as much on your own as possible. If you get stuck, you could ask your neighbor or me for some help. Good. What did you do? All right. What is looking like now? There you go. There you go. Load. Anyone? Good. Good. Yeah. It's made by like social welfare. If you're maximizing your social welfare, you're at the optimal. Social welfare would be like consumer and producer surplus. So that would be where are you with no dead weight loss, and that's at optimal. Who's one? Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you see the monopoly looking part of this graph? Yeah. Okay. So if you're not using a subsidy, NPC is going to be, or a tax yet, you're going to use the NPC, and that's going to be like an MC curve. Yep. Okay, just for time, I'm going to stop you. You'd have more time, literally, to do this. All right. Christian, did you come up with the two market failures? Yes, to negative externality. How do I know that? If I have NPC, MSC, MSK, but that's an externality. Negative, because it's going from private to social. All right, that's going to be a negative externality. If they even want to get technical, since supply is shifting, it's going to be on the producers. Okay, good job. Using numerical values from the graph, Felix, what is the profit maximizer? Okay, so we don't have an MC curve, but the MC is the supply curve. So this is like a supply curve. So MC equals MR. So you got 35 and 150. Okay. Go.
How do you use MPC and not MPC?
Because MSC only could get involved after a tax, right? Now, talking about a tax, Dom, assume a $15 per unit tax is imposed on the sizzles market. Using numerical values from the graph, could you identify the quantity and price?
Oh, 40 for price, 100 for quantity.
Nice, because now Don's using this as his MC curve. So MC equals MR, he's got 40 and 100. Yeah, is this making sense to you?
No,
Okay. Where do you want me to start again?
just see. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, Gab, if I look from here to here, 35 minus 20 is 15. So that's how much the tax should be.
Right.
So if I get a $15 tax, I'm now shifting to this curve.
Okay.
So this is now becoming my MC curve. So MC equals MR here.
And then you have to bring it up to 40.
Like a monopoly, right? Right now, this D, I think, is particularly tricky. So Zayo opposes a 15 per unit tax analyzed above in Part C, and instead proposes a policy of no government intervention. If economic advisors are only interested in maximizing social welfare, meaning producing at the optimum, would they support this policy of no government intervention?
No,
Okay, why not?
because in order to get to socially optimal, you need a tax or subsidy.
Okay, Connor, what would you say?
I would say no again.
You agree
Uh,
with Logan? He said no.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they propose.
So you say government would oppose CISA?
No. Yes, government intervention is better.
Okay, all right, hold on. Because this is tricky. Scott, if government does not intervene, what is the socially optimal quantity?
It's where like MSC.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
That's 150, right?
Right.
If government doesn't intervene, we're producing at 150, right? So in a monopoly externality, no government intervention will get you to the optimal. Okay? Yeah. All right. You have, so you have to be 150 as your quantity, right?
Yep.
And Scott said, and that's without government intervention, right? Scott said the optimal for MSC equals MSB, which is 150. So therefore, to get to the optimal here, you don't need government intervention. And the reason why, it's a monopoly, which makes it different. Okay? Okay, if you could fill out your slip, put it in the box.
Because I was gonna say, isn't it where it's also the man?
Yeah. Yes.
I was thinking that the tax would have reduced since like this entire diamond is deadweight loss before the tax, and then after the tax, there's only this much.
Okay.
This is the deadweight loss from monopoly, and this is the deadweight loss from the externality. Whereas it would only be the monopoly deadweight loss.
Here's the here. Yes. We could look at it. We could look at it. I'll take it. Yeah.
I understand the concepts, just like the little details, like time and cost.
You can take this down for that. Okay. You always shift. Yeah. And On the producer, that's always. I always probably something like negative left.
Okay, you doing this one? Didn't plan on it, or don't. So I, my last period, as I'm sure you guys was here.
Yes, I did.
Do you mind if I come fourth period and sit in on a class?
That would be perfect. What, did you just screw up your schedule?
Yeah, I thought it was third period.
That's fine.